about Finland and Finnish art scene, how it works. Maybe straight for the point, like in Finland, when there is an art gallery, artist needs to pay to be able to exhibit. And the sum can be like from 1,000 euros to 3,000 euros.
Wow.
And that doesn't guarantee that the gallery sells anything. So if you pay, like, let's say, like the gallery where we are going to go later today, it costs like 1,200, and I seldom see that they sell anything there. So, but still, like, nobody is really questioning this, because in my point of view, and everywhere else in the world, if I have understood right, the gallery is the one who sells the work and represents the artist, and kind of try to make the living for the artist. But in Finland, like, nobody's even questioning this system. Okay, there is a thing that you can apply grants to make a show, but still, like, okay, you can have the show for free, but still, like, why then the grants could be given straight for the gallery, instead of doing it. So the thing is, like, yeah, it's amazing, like, how this thing exists and nobody is questioning it, because it could be easily stopped just if there would be an artist who would refuse doing this.
Yeah, who's running the galleries? Like, are there artist-run spaces or collectively organized spaces?
There is a gallery. Yeah. Like, it's both associations and like companies functioning the same.
There's no, like you guys are all artists and you got together to start, or curators to start Artilus. Like, do you think people come together as artists and organize a way to exhibit other artists' work? And do you think artists could come together as an organization and then not have this need?
I don't know, but because the problem is, like, in the big scale, there's, like, let's say, like 200 spaces in Finland, like 200 galleries, or like maybe 200 spaces which are more or less call themselves as a gallery, and then they are like all
So more of a free market system for the exchange of the commodity of art. But is there a market for purchasing art in Finland that could support that structure? Which is to say, I don't think that the failure of there being a present market is necessarily a reason to continue another failed system, but I am curious if people are buying art in such a way that the artist could then make a living making art. Because we find ourselves having to do, Witz has mentioned he works maybe 60 hours a week to support himself in the US, but then tries to find time to make art outside of that. I've I've enjoyed to, but also had to work as a professor and have a full-time job that's extremely demanding of my time and demands also that I make art in order to be able to be a living working artist, to pay for much of my own stuff and then sell as much as I can. But if we're lucky enough to even sell, and then if I sell through a gallery, if they keep 40 or 60% of the proceeds, or yeah.
They do no work, they do all the work, and then they just take half.
Yeah.
And so even starting out, you want to just recoup the money you lost from making the work, the time spent, the materials it took to build it or make it, and then they just take half of it.
Right.
So then you have to value your work higher.
Right.
To just get what you deserve.
Which decreases the likelihood of it selling if you don't have the reputation to support that cost.
It's a catch-22.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to make a living selling your work, but you can't.
Right.
Because you're always underbidding yourself, or you're just not selling enough. And unfortunately, especially in New York, you can't just walk into a gallery and show the images or have a discussion with the galleries. It always has to be introduced to them. through
Yeah.
somebody else.
Mhm.
It takes one person, just the one right person, to introduce you to the right other person. But to find that networked person to get you in that door, it's almost impossible. So, and I find myself, as Karen mentioned, I work all the time installing other shows for other artists. And the majority of the shows I install are people who don't live in New York City. They're artists from all over the world because they are fashionable, they are sellable. So then it just begs the question, why do people like myself trying to become an artist move to a city where I don't have a chance really to exhibit and make a living, except for installing other artists' art all the time?
Well, that becomes another interesting topic. You just used the phrase "trying to become an artist," and maybe right, but maybe there is that kind of idea of at what point do we consider ourselves artists? Going back to even something that you weren't here for, but when Eero was speaking at the satellite platform in March, he said he had this very Marxist point of view about the idea that it is art once it's sold, and that idea is rather cynical. But there's a huge attrition for artists in the United States. They say like less than 5% of people who finish their MFA are still making art 10 years later, because you do have to work so much outside of your practice and maintain your practice. And for artists, it could be an 80 to 100 hour work week, depending on your schedule.
So the question is, are we talking about the US right now?
Well, we started with Finland, but I think this is maybe a comparison.
Because in Finland we have this, well, also in Belgium